Hey, it's Amy Nicholas. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, say hello in the comments below. I also have trading resources that I'm basically putting together as a Google document to let people know how did I survive this far in day trading, being in it for 4 months. I'm still doing it. Still obviously a newbie, and this experiment I'm doing currently, this was it's gonna be a Monday recap of my day trades for today. And I'll be sharing day 2 of phase 2 of me trading with very small position size. I'm now trading with 2 shares per trade. So I did 20 trades. You can go back on my channel and watch the prior videos for this. I did 20 individual trades, trading just 1 share. Then I said I'm going to double it. So now I'm in phase 2 of trading 20 times with 2 shares. So today we did trades 4, 5, 6, and I'm in an active trade for 7. It was kind of one of these weird days where there was a lot of opportunities in the market. And if you've been day trading the last month, you're like, yeah, I'll take it, because some of the last couple of weeks has been very choppy and very uncertain, and you don't know which way the market's going. It was pretty obvious today that the market wanted to be green, but there was still some of that is it for real? And that's where I ended up having a couple losing trades, which I'll tell you about, because I kind of misread things. And it happens, and sometimes things reverse. So let's start with the first one. I kicked myself on this one because it set me back for the entire day. I jumped in shorting Tesla with the ETF TSLQ, and I got in on a gut instinct to go, but I also felt like I was hurrying to get into the market as well. And when I put my order in, it didn't go through right away. And I've occasionally had these glitches with Thinkorswim where if the stock is moving very quickly, it's sometimes can bypass your order. So what I tried to do, which in the heat of the moment, I'm like, why did I go to that screen? I tried to go to, there's a screen on Thinkorswim that says monitor, which is where all your active working order trades are going to show, whether you're in one or you've put in an order for one, it's going to show there. Instead of just hitting cancel all, which is a very quick, easy button that I've got right here, I just didn't even think to just hit that. So what ended up happening, I go to the monitor tab, and I can see my 3 orders sitting there. One is to buy, one is to have a trailing stop, and one is to have a take profit sell. And I thought I had canceled the buy. I must have canceled something else, because next thing you know, it goes through. And this is like a 10-second delay. And I'm like, oh geez, what price point did I get in at? And right then, Tesla, which I thought people were going to take profit at the open, because basically what was going on was all pre-market Tesla was up 4%, which is a pretty good jump for pre-market on Tesla. And I'm thinking, okay, profit takers are going to step in. And that was when I saw kind of the, the selling pressure per my usual indicators, MACD, price action. I'm looking at, what's happening. I'm watching my 5-minute candle. It looked to me like people were going to take profit and there might be a small sell-off, right? That's why I got in initially. And when the order didn't go through right away, I was like, I don't want to be in. But I mistakenly, clicked something, I guess, incorrectly, and it didn't cancel my order, and I ended up getting in. And it got me in at 15, sorry. No, that can't be right. Hang on. Where did I get in? Oh, I'm totally looking at the wrong trade. Okay, I was like, this isn't right. Okay, 49.35 is what I got in on TSLQ. And I kid you not, it was over and done with in 15 seconds that my stop loss hit for the max amount of 75 cents per share. So immediately I was down $1.50 on the day. And I'm like, dang it, because the glitch, the order not going through was what I thought kind of a blessing in disguise, because then I was like, oh, maybe I can cancel and get out of this. And then me just fumbling, when your brain is just trying to figure it out and you just don't think clearly. had I been thinking clearly, I'm pretty sure hitting the cancel all button would have just deleted everything that was in the queue. I didn't want it to accidentally delete, like when I was in the monitor tab, like delete one of the buy order, but not the seller, and so I'm thinking I had to do all these steps and I really didn't. That was all on me, but it set the tone, and it was kind of like, shoot, now I have to make up for this loss on these other trades I'm going to do today. And it's kind of been challenging to get what I would like to get in terms of take profit, which is I'd like to get $1 take profit, like per share. And I have a 75-cent trailing stop loss. So, in essence, I'm trying to get like 1.25 off of my risk. And it just doesn't always play out that way. In fact, a lot of times lately, it hasn't played out that way. But, I was like, okay, well, let's just put that out of our mind. We go to the next one. So this is trade number 5 of the 20 trades experiment with the 2 shares. And I got long on Tesla. And so I went in with TSLR, which is great because I was correct on this one. I had a green trade. However, this, and I'm looking at where I went. Yeah, okay. So this is the issue with these ETFs, particularly TSLR. This is so inexpensively priced right now because Tesla had dropped so much that I got in at $15.69. For me to get a full dollar move, Tesla has to move a lot, right? These are leveraged ETFs, but Tesla itself has to move like freaking $5 or $6, right? To get to a potential dollar take profit. So I kind of knew that going in that I'm going to have to adjust my take profit. Just let's be realistic here. This ETF is probably not going to move that much. And what I ended up doing when it looked like it was kind of going against me was I tried something new. I sold one of the 2 shares for a whopping 8-cent profit. And because it kind of looked like, based on my indicators, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to sell out the whole thing and then it goes like straight up. Well, I'm glad I did the one because right after that, it did go up. It was a little pullback. It was definitely there to flush people out. And you watch the price action, you see the giant red candles on your 5-minute chart, and you're like, oh crap, right? So I'm glad that I played around with this time because this is the first time I could do that. Now trading 2 shares, not just 1 share. And I said, let me hold on to the other share and see, how much more this can go. So I was patient. I think I was in this trade for about 12 minutes total, just patient for me. And I ended up selling that one, the second share, at $16.05 for a 36-cent profit. Not necessarily great again, but this TSLR, it just doesn't have huge moves because its price is so low, right? And it's tracking Tesla. Tesla has to move a lot for it to go up. So one of the things I exited at, or one of my reasons for, not so much that my indicators were showing me much change, and this was the problem. I saw that Tesla was hitting a resistance level at 265, and I said, logically, people are going to be selling, taking profit, getting out at 265, and so I thought, let me just get out now with that one last share. What ended up happening was Tesla continued to rip all morning till freaking 269. So in essence, I probably could have gotten that dollar take profit, even though I'm telling myself, oh, Tesla has to move so much, And by that point, Tesla had extended itself. I think it was like $22, $23, something like that. It had really gone up. And I'm like, okay, future trading, like, one, don't prejudge. Don't think you know where it's going to go. Don't think that, oh, just because it's hitting this specific level, that means you are going to lose profit or you're going to get stopped out. I really should have just followed my indicators, which did not tell me to get out. But, it's this moment of indecision, like, should I get out now? And yeah, I could have just wrote it out for that last leg up. It would have probably taken, I don't know, I think it ended up taking it like maybe almost an hour to finish to that move of 269. And then it kept going. You know, it was like 270s, you know, and then I'm like, oh geez. Like here is this glaring issue across the board with my trading, that my losses are bigger than my gains many times. And in the last couple of weeks, I've been green on the week. So I can't say that that's, you know, truly affected it, but it has affected the actual bottom line, where if I had executed with confidence and stayed in the trade in confidence, I would have made more profit on probably a good 60 to 70% of my trades that were in the green. And it's this fear, it's this rushing to get out, like, oh my gosh, you know, you see a couple of red candles on the 1 minute. I always confirm first and foremost with the 5-minute chart. And then I look at the 1 minute to see, okay, how many legs of the same color, you know, kind of thing do we have here before I get out. And then the MACD is a very helpful indicator for me to actually gauge where the momentum is going, whether it's buyers or sellers. The MACD for me has been really helpful for that. And that's one of the reasons I actually stayed in that second share, was because the MACD was still like, whoop, you know. So I'm like, okay, let me just chill. Like, you know, you'll see the price action, you see some numbers that maybe look like it's dumping, but don't panic. Let your indicators, you know, guide you. And what do? I still sell too early. So anyways, those are the first two trades. Then the third trade of the day, TSLQ, because I'm like, again, I'm prejudging a stock that I don't have actual like hard evidence. I did see the MACD lines curling over, and I did see that the buying kind of seemed like it was stalling out. So this was the reason I shorted Tesla on this third one. And so I got in at 43.07, and I'm kind of like waiting, and I was green right away. It did go down like Tesla, but it never really showed more profit for me on the two shares than like 25 cents. So it was at like 10, 12 cents, you know, per share. And I said, let me just hold on. I'm just going to hold on. You know, things will probably start to sell off here pretty soon. Well, they didn't, but that's okay. I had a trailing stop. So in this trade that I lost, I only lost 32 cents instead of my max, 75 per, which would have been another $1.50. So at this point, I'm writing out my P&L for the day because I'm like, oh, I'm probably like, you know, I'm just done. I'm gonna walk away. And I was, I had 2 red, 1 green, and I'm looking at the loss and the gain, and I'm like, okay, I've lost $2.14. I've gained 42 cents. I kept thinking, Tesla really feels like it wants to be bullish today, be very green. It's had some good news. The market in general, all of that was very like green. The Qs, the SPY, everything was like happy about this, delay of tariffs or it not being so severe and all that. So I said, let me just do something different. I'm going to get in one more time. I said, my best gauge of what the market's doing overall and where I can see Tesla going, it is long, like going long in Tesla. So I'm in a trade right now for TSLR, and I'll give you the update once I get out of it. I think I'm up like 46 cents right now. It's again, I'm in that situation of TSLR has to move enough to make it worth, taking profit off. And I'm kind of waiting for the last like 30 to 45 minutes of before the close, and then to kind of see like, okay, wherever it's at, I'm gonna just get out at that point. But I said, let me just try it differently, because I got into that trade at, I think it was almost 8 o'clock or after 8 o'clock my time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and I hadn't done this before with my day trading. I've done swing trading, where I get in, I'm like, okay, cool, like if I get my take profit today, great. If not, I'm in it. This particular trade is definitely a day trade. I will close out the 2 positions, definitely no matter what, before the close. But I wanted to just see if playing this kind of strategy could help me make up for losses. Because what I notice is when I'm in a winning trade, I'm quick to take profit. I fear of like it going against me, right? And it's almost this challenge too of like, okay, I know that I have to make up for that stupid mistake I made first thing in the morning of the $1.50 loss right off the bat. And how many trades is that going to take me, right? Now, granted, trading 2 shares is helping me over the 1 share, because had I had a $1.50 loss, and of course now I'm actually, I think on the day before this trade, I was at a $1.72 loss. So I'm thinking, okay, that means I've got to exit this other trade, at like 86 cents a piece, profit or something. So at least not a full dollar in order to actually just break even on the day. But it's showing me that I really need to focus on minimizing, the losses. Even though I've got the trailing stop, just if it just seems like it's going against you, I've learned this lesson, just cancel all and sell at the market, or finding strategies that help me hold on to winners longer in order to maximize the gain. Because it seems so easy to be, at a loss on the day. And then when you think you have, like in the back of your mind, like you have to make up for that in order to just be green, it puts unnecessary stress, right? So when I got in this 4th trade of the day that's open, I kind of was like, F it. Like, I don't care. Like, if I lose my $1.50, I don't care. Like, because I was like, I can't put emphasis on this one specific trade has to work and it has to work X dollars amount. No. We take what we can get, right? But it was kind of just, let me teach myself a little bit of like patience with the whole risk reward stuff. And also see, could this possibly be another strategy for me to have some trades where I'm bam, in and out, 1 to 5 minutes, 1 to 10 minutes, and some trades in the day where I'm holding for several hours, in order to get that move. So I'm open to it. Look at that, I just gained another penny. It's kind of one of these things like, where's your tolerance level? Like how long do you want to have something open? Like, do you enjoy having this chance of potentially making more by keeping it open? Yeah, as long as it doesn't stress me out where I'm like, oh, what time is it? I gotta close my positions. Like I'm kind of like got a couple alerts on my phone just to remind myself, like, okay, close out your crap here. But this has been a very much learning lesson day. And I'm like, okay, going forward, I need to really focus on win maximization. Now, the other thing I considered too was changing my trailing stop. So the last experiment I did, the 20 trades with the 1 share, and this one I'm doing 2 shares, I've had a fixed amount of a stop loss of 75 cents. But the problem is, with something like TSLR, that is a really wide stop for that thing to move. It's a $15 ETF. It's a really wide stop, right? I don't need to open myself to that much risk. I could have a tighter stop. Or, even better, I'm considering just trading straight up Tesla itself and using a different amount in the stop, somewhere between $1.50 to $3, because that stock can move so much. And because I'm only buying 2 shares, it's nothing crazy. If I risk $3 a share, that's $6, on a trade. Or if I went in the low end, $1.50. So like, it's just kind of opening my mind up a little bit. Like, hey, I gotta kind of be flexible here, because it's having the 75-cent trailing stop loss. It's making me not take certain trades because it doesn't feel like it's enough, So I couldn't get into Tesla itself because of that. I also looked at Palantir this morning. I could have easily been up green on the day. I took my eyes off of it for a second, and because I was waiting for it to cross to 96. I said 95, it's right there. It's hitting that level. People are going to be like, I don't know. Took my eyes away from it, like came back a minute later, and it had shot up like to freaking 97 or 98. I'm like, shoot, I could have bought 2 shares of that, been up a couple dollars, been done, been green, So we don't regrets. We don't have no regrets, but I just, I'm aware of these things like throughout the going forward. This is a learning journey. This is about the process. This is about executing without fear. And now I'm realizing that I'm overcoming that part of my issue of getting into trades without fear. That's been not so much a big deal anymore, which is great. Feels good. Now it's turned to exiting without fear, not getting out of a trade because I fear loss. I fear like I'm gonna lose money if I don't get out now, or it's turning against me. I don't want to lose too much. That's what I'm starting to see is my other kind of like, oh, look at this, Amy, you gotta, kind of work on this. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoy these recaps. How was your trading day today for Monday? I think that, it was a lot of opportunities out there. I just kind of saw myself trading all day because I'm like, I think I was sitting at the computer for a good hour and a half, more than that, almost, about an hour and a half, which is kind of a longer session for me. So feel free to share in the comments, how was your day? And what did you trade today as well? I'm just curious what y'all are trading. And lastly, the day trading resources, if you guys want to know like how I've taught myself thus far to trade stocks and ETFs and day trading, feel free to check out that. There's a link down in the description and the comments. And it's basically just a working Google document where I put books, videos, YouTubers that I've watched that have helped me on my journey. And if you just want to know all of that, feel free to grab access to that. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.